Hey, hello, YouTubers. It's Mike here again. I've got to thank you for the tremendous response we had to the last video that I did. It was put out on the 15th of March. It was the one that talked about the alignments of the planets. Just an unbelievable response, and thank you so much. We hope the information is helpful to people, that it'll help them in being able to orient their lives to what's coming and what we see in the future. Anyway, didn't want to talk too much about that. I want to remind you that we are sponsored here by Silver Coin Reserve. You can find that at silvercoinreserve.com if you have any desire for silver or anything like that, gold. We market that. By the way, though, let me tell you, if it comes down to a choice between do I buy some silver, do I get food, get the food. Forget the silver. You can't eat it, okay? All right. Anyway, let me go back to this video. What you're seeing before you here is taken right off of the USGS's earthquake site. It's in their archives. You can go back and you can look up what's happened at particular times with earthquakes around the world. Now, they do it by century, basically. So you have 100 years, and then you have the last 10 years plus these last 3 months. That's what you're seeing up here in this section. You'll notice on here that they divided into 8.0 to 9.0 earthquakes, and this shows you how many we had during any of these given years right here. So if you look over here, like 2007 was kind of a high year. We had 4 of them. That's a little bit rare. The next year we had none. So it's going to vary, and I'm willing to say, hey, this is a flexible thing, and we're going to see ups and downs in it. But I want to show you some trends that are taking place, and especially that have been taking place recently, because they're concerning, and they should be concerning to you. Let's look here at the 7.0 to 7.9. If you look across here, you'll notice that you start to get averages. The actual average, if we come down here, it's now 15. It used to be 14. Okay, but 3 weeks ago they upped that because we've had more of them and enough to actually raise the average, which is what, like about 7% raise. I mean, that's incredible that they would change that. But right here, if you look at this number, 21, that's how many of those earthquakes we had last year. That's an increase of about 40% on just that level of earthquake in 2010. That's huge. That's big. Now take a look for 2011. We're only into this about 2.5 months, and we've got 7 of those earthquakes already. Okay, let's start doing a little bit of the math here. We're up 124% of normal this year. And that does not include what's going on in Japan. Most of the Japan figures aren't even on here yet. You got 6 to 6.9. We normally have 134 of those earthquakes in any given year. Last year, we were up 12.5%. Actually, 12.5% isn't enough that I would even be concerned about that, except for the fact that this year we're up 143%. In fact, I think this one is going to actually go right off the charts this year. During the this Japan earthquake time, I started monitoring what earthquakes have been taking place. There have been about 40 earthquakes within about 10 days of the Japan Great Quake that were 6 point or up to 6.9, like you see here. Just yesterday, that would have been the 22nd of March, you can go and look at this for yourself. We had 5 of them in one day. I mean, it's gonna blow this figure right here completely off the charts when this year is completed and all is said and done on this. You're also seeing a huge ramp up in the 5 to 5.9. I mean, right here you're seeing 1,300 of those a year, and we're up 136% already this year. Pretty serious stuff. Why would it be doing that? Why are we having these all of a sudden these changes in our tectonic plates? What's making them move? I keep saying it's not a little comet out there. It's something larger coming our way. And danged if they're not telling us anything about it. It'd be nice if we could get a little more information. But I promise you, in the future, I'll try to show video of the first pictures that we have of actually what this is, as well as we're gonna talk about solar flares, because I think that's a real big problem. In fact, I think that's our major direction that we are going to see our next real big problem worldwide. Anyway, let me pull this down for a second. I want to show you something. Running out of time here. I talk too much. If you look over here, you have this 8.8 earthquake that took place in Chile, and that was just over a year ago. About 6 months later, in Christchurch, New Zealand, we have a 7.2 earthquake. Now they're showing the 6.3 one here, but that happened a few months later. But it was in September when this one took place, about the time of the other alignment. If you look up here to the Japan earthquake, which happened just a few days ago, that's the 9-pointer, and so all of these have been about 6 months apart. And they're going in a clockwise direction around the ring of fire. In other words, it's shifting in that direction. Now, logically, where would you think the next break would be if all of this is pulling over here and starting to break on this side? Any fracture that we have would probably come from somewhere along the Aleutian chain in Alaska all the way down here to Panama. Somewhere in that vicinity, we should see some major fracturing of the tectonic plate. Those of you who live on the West Coast, please be aware that this is out there and looming right now. The odds are that we're going to see something happen in this direction over the next period of time. I know the scientists are saying, oh, just because it's happening over here doesn't mean it's going to happen over there. I'm telling you, these plates move in great big mass, and as they move, they're going to break free, and the place that it looks like it's going to break next is going to be somewhere along this line right here. So what do you do about it? Hey, I'm telling you, get in touch with your maker. Learn to follow that little voice within inside you. It won't lead you astray. It'll take you in the right direction. This is a serious time that we live in, and we're going to see even more of this as this starts to ramp up for the fall. I'm going to get back to you with some other videos. The two that you'll be able to check up on in the future, we're going to do something on solar flares real soon, and then we're also going to try and get a video out that shows updated pictures of what people are seeing with this comet. Mostly amateurs. I don't think we're going to see anything coming from the big boys until it's probably going to be too late. One last thing before we jump off of this. My greatest concern at this point is not these earthquakes. Unless you live in this earthquake zone, I'd be pretty concerned. But I believe that solar flares are going to be our major problem. As these two bodies get close to each other, the sun and this dwarf star, you're going to see solar flares that are going to be pulled off of that sun like we've never seen before. And they're going to ramp up. It only takes one real good-sized X-class solar flare to knock us into next year. It'll actually take us back hundreds of years, because the grid will go down, the electronics will be gone, and the biggest problem is communication is going to be limited. Those who know that this is coming and that we've got these problems are going to know what to do. Those who are asleep and won't look at any of this are not going to know what to do, because they won't know what's out there. Anyway, YouTubers, thank you for listening. If I can be of any help, go ahead and write comments. We'll try and get as many answers on those as we can. But thanks again for listening, and appreciate all of you out there. Good luck to you, and God bless.